I'm alive. I'm alive, I guess. I'm alive, I guess. And I'm here. I'm alive, I guess. At best. I'm alive, I guess. Hey, so we might as well talk about it. Can we talk? Might as well talk.
What's up, y'all?
about it.
Welcome to your safe space. I'm your host, RJ, and this is the Alive, I Guess podcast. If you're new here, welcome. I appreciate you for joining. And if you've been here, welcome back. I appreciate you as always. Be sure to follow us on Instagram, TikTok, Threads, and Facebook at Alive, I Guess podcast. For inquiries, be sure to email aliveiguesspodcast@gmail.com. And for I Say This With Love submissions, visit tinyurl.com/AIGP advice. Today, we're going to be talking about trying to stay sane in such a crazy, chaotic, hectic time in life, history, the world, and at the same time trying to show up and be there for yourself and act like things are regular. Because as we all know, there's a lot happening, especially in our country. That's why it's especially important that we do these moments of gratitude before we dive into the topics. So let's go ahead and do that right now. If you're listening today, say something out loud that you're grateful for. And if you're watching, drop something below in the comments. Today, I am grateful for laughter. Because one thing about me, I'm going to laugh. Whenever, however, at whatever, I'm going to laugh. I'm going to laugh my way straight through a bad situation. I'm going to laugh my way straight through some trauma. I'm going to laugh. And I think laughing is like one of the best medicines and healing things that there are out there. So I'm especially grateful for laughter, especially in times like these. But all right, let's get into it, because too much be happening. Let me just start off by saying, what the hell is happening right now? I feel like I have been cheated out of the American dream, out of the adulthood we were told we would get all those years in school, all the stories and movies and all the shit that we heard growing up. And then we finally get here and this is how it's going down. All this trauma and pain and turmoil and shit is expensive and people are losing their brains and their jobs and their homes, and it's just so heavy. World feels like, and is technically, like it's always on fire. Every time I open my phone, no matter what app I get on, if it's connected to the internet, you're probably going to see something traumatic or something collapsing or some sort of conflict or war, someone dying, something very heavy. And somehow we are still expected to show up and circle back on emails and post the pictures and act like everything is just sweet and show up on time, punctual, ready to perform, giving your best effort with all the mental clarity and focus that you have for a corporation who's literally trying to replace you with a computer while it's simultaneously killing the communities that you live in. Like, how are we supposed to just show up business as usual? This ain't usual. Shit is unusual. Shit is looking a little rocky out there right now. I don't know how anybody is doing it. Fake it till you make it, I guess, but girl, this is getting tough. It's too much to just turn your back on and look away from. And new shit is coming out every day about something even worse that we got to deal with. It's just like over exposure to the worst shit ever. As the human body, like our nervous systems are not made to handle this much stimulus of like trauma. Like these traumatic events and things that we're designed to handle are very few, like in a lifetime. We are being traumatized damn near every day, damn near every single day. And we have probably shifted on a chemical level as a people with the stress levels and the shit we're eating and the things we're consuming, the lack of sleep, the things we're putting into our bodies to just like stay awake and try to function and try and fit in with the world. Like, we are experiencing some drastic, drastic things. And it's not like it's just like one thing or like one area. Like, it's an accumulation. Like, they got all the flavors of trauma. You want to see something on a economic level? We got that. You want to see people going hungry in the world's richest, best country? We got that. You want to see people who look like you getting gunned down in the street for the same shit another person who don't look like you could do and get away with? We got that. You want to loop in kids and trauma with that? Well, obviously we got that. And you want to see the people responsible for it getting rewarded and propped up on a pedestal? We got that. Like, it's headline after headline after breaking news after it's just so much. And then you try and go to these trusted sources. You think the news is supposed to be a trusted source. You think the things that your government, your community, your country is giving you is trustworthy, but it's all bullshit. So then you got to go online and get information there. And some of the information is coming from people who have no business speaking on it at all. So most of the time, when you get some valid information, it's like live and action videos. And that's going to be the real deal thing. Those are going to be the traumatic things. But at least you know it's not getting covered up and it's not fake. And then they'll even take that and they'll try and spin it and make it seem like you're crazy. Like, we are being constantly mind fucked on a daily basis. And you want me to show up to a job and smile in your face and come to this office that I don't want to be in and act like everything is cool? Girl, fuck you. No, it ain't cool. Something is very wrong here, and we need to be acting more like something is wrong, because people are a little too calm for me. I'm not gonna hold you. People are a little too calm. Like, it's getting scary. It is scary. And us as human beings are not built to absorb all of this. We really aren't. But these are the times that we are living in. And so sorry to go on that rant, but I just had to get that off my chest. Because y'all feel this? Y'all see this? Hello, what's going on? So then we're like, okay, I know I can't trust the news, and so I got to go online and get my news there. But then it's like, am I doom scrolling and over consuming, or am I staying informed? Like, when is it too much? When do I hit the level of overconsumption, overstimulated, but like, I still need to know what the fuck is going on because I can't be off point, because that's what they're expecting. They already trying to trick us out our position every single day and lie to us in our faces if we are fucking dumb. And unfortunately, some people believe it, but most of us ain't going for that shit. And so it's like, I have to stay up to date, but my nervous system screaming, asking me, please put the phone down. And being in a business like this, in a career where it's like you have to be on social media, taking phone breaks and social media detoxes are far and few in between. They're very necessary, but I find myself on Instagram, TikTok, social media a lot more these days for different reasons outside of just like personal, like to help me with branding and posting content and doing all the things. But of course, you're going to see all the shit that's out there and stay up to date with the shit that's out there. And I'm grateful to be able to have real information that I can access versus them trying to spoon feed me a bunch of bullshit. But damn, it's a lot behind that curtain. You get what I'm saying? Like, it's tough to just take all that in all the time. But when I log off and stay out the loop and try not to see what's going on, I feel guilty. But then when I be hyper in the loop and really in the shits and really standing for some things, then that's just when I'm just weighed down and devastated all the time. And I'm the type of person, like, I'm standing up for what's right. Like, I spend a lot of my life trying to be quiet about general things just for the sake of like keeping the peace with people. Like, that's kind of how I operated. And so, like, I was very like conflict avoidant. I wouldn't say the difficult thing to the person because I don't want to cause an issue. But today, we standing on all 10. All 10. I don't really care what anyone thinks about my viewpoints because I know my morals and my views are aligned with what the fuck is right. So I'm going to stand on it every time. And hopefully, we don't run into anybody who has a real problem with it to the point where they want to do something. But if that's what it comes to, because I'm not ducking and not saying what I want and calling out shit when it's wrong if it's wrong. So a lot of people out there spewing lies and just bogus BS, but you want to try and shut people down who are saying don't murder children, who are saying feed churches or feed the homeless. If you're a church, you should open your doors to people who need help. Why are people getting recognition for the bad shit, but the good shit gets criticized? Why is that? Like, so you take all this into consideration when you're consuming all the things, and then if you say something, it could lead somewhere. But if you go with the bullshit, if you're aligned with that, I guess, like, you're just feeding into a worse, bigger picture. Like, it's so much to try and balance and navigate. And if you say something, damn if you do. And if you don't say something, damn if you don't. Like, what are we even doing? How are we even supposed to get through this shit? And sometimes I don't have anything to say. Sometimes, a lot of times, I just feel the weight of everything. And as I stay silent or speak up in ways in which I feel is helpful, it's like the next thing is waiting in line. And then the next thing, and the next thing, and the next thing. And it's getting piled on before you're ready to even take it on. And that's just on a macro level. That's just outside of my life, my immediate life. This is outside of anything that could go wrong in my personal family, job, money, health. That we talking on a big scale. This scale is crushing as it currently stands. It's a lot. So sometimes I'm not gonna have the words or anything to say. Like, we are expected to react and respond in real time to real complex, layered, crucial situations and be just fully formed thought leaders on it. And I don't understand how anybody is doing it. How y'all doing it? How are y'all managing through this? I know collectively it's difficult right now, and I don't want to spend this entire time just talking about the negatives. And I'm gonna call a spade a spade. And right now, it's fucking hard. To all my other fellow empaths out there taking on this collective grief and heaviness of the world right now, I feel you. I feel you. It feels kind of like a dream. Like, it doesn't feel like this is like real life to be going through this. I don't know what kind of shift happened in 2016, but that literally felt like the last like real year of life that we knew up to this point. I'll speak for myself. And then there was a shift, and then 2020 happened. And when 2020 happened, everything after that, mind you, we are 6 years into that decade, beyond me. Beyond me. Like, was this a plan? Like, is this all part of some bigger aspect? Is there something larger at play here that I don't understand? I'm just trying to make sense of it, but how do you make sense of all of this negativity, all of this death and just evil. Because that's what it feels like. Like, I knew shit wasn't going to be good when we lost Kobe. Truth be told. Like, I said, oh yeah, something, something ain't right. Times is going to get wicked because things are off here. Like, we start losing good people and things just start getting more and more negative in the world, like the combination of the two. We start losing people by the hundreds of thousands to a virus. What? And then y'all turning around, hiking the prices on shit, not giving out medication that's affordable to people, and then asking us why y'all ain't having kids? Who? No. No, if I had a choice, I wouldn't even be here. No. Hold on, let me clarify. If I a personal belief, and I am not in any way saying that this is something that I want. I love my life. I have no intentions on going anywhere. That is not what I'm saying. But this life thing sometimes gets a little much and seems a little worth it, or not worth it. It feels a little too complex. It feels a little like the juice is not worth the squeeze. And so that's kind of the existential crisis I was going through at the end of 2023, which led me to my depression, which ultimately almost led me to early checkout. But fortunately, I have a wife who I have talked about so much at this point, who has reminded me that there is a lot going on. There is a lot of evil. There is a lot of negativity. The things that I am worried about are real. But there is so much beauty in life and the people in your life, and there are things that we can control. And so I start to look at the positives of life, my family, my chosen circle, my future children, if things ever get better economically. I look at the people around me and how much I mean to people and the impact I have on people even before this podcast. I look at the things I have yet to do and that I want to do, and that if I gave up now, I'd never understand or never know how that would look like or what the end result would be, what that could turn into. And then I start to look at facts. Yes, there are a lot of things happening right now. And these things are important regardless of who they impact because they are still affecting people. And we as human beings should care about other human beings. And a lot of the things that are happening aren't having impact on my daily life today in this moment because all we got is the moment that we're in, right? I'm not currently starving and out on the street. I'm not currently fighting for my life like in an extreme level. I think we all kind of are fighting for our lives. I'm currently in a state where it's like I'm safe, I'm sheltered, I'm fed, I'm healthy. And because I have these things, I do have a way in which I can impact people who don't, people who need help, people who need support, people who are in need of encouragement or resources, connections, community. I do have that ability because I have other things that other people don't have in this moment. And so when I started to look at it that way, it really changed my approach on how I move forward in life because 2023, I talk about it more in the bonus episode on the Patreon. Go check that out. But the end of 2023 was rough. I was very justified in my reasoning to not want to be here because of all these things. And this is before all the things that we know today were known, but it was ramping up. Like I saw the writing on the wall. I saw the things that were happening and how it was just moving in this trajectory of terribleness. And I'm like, what is what is the point in all this? I don't want to get too far into that because that is not where we are anymore. Because I do understand that myself, as we all do, we have a purpose in life. And just like I can be a help to others, so can everybody else around me. Like the way that we get through this as best as possible is the same way that we have always gotten through this. And I'm speaking especially to Black people because I can't speak for other communities, groups, things like that. But like, we have to be communal. We have to help our fellow person. We can't be in competition with each other over things that really don't fucking matter. Things that were put in place in these systems to keep us at odds, to keep us estranged, so that we can't come together and move forward as a people and get shit done. Like, we are stronger as a unit. So why would they want us to be a unit in community? I was talking to somebody that I knew a few years ago, and I'm like, damn, people really don't like know their neighbors anymore. This person grew up on this house, cross street, grandma, two houses over, cousin, down the street was an uncle or something, and everybody in between just knew everybody. Like it was a community. Now, everybody is just so guarded, got their cameras up in front of the house to make sure nobody does anything, and there's a lot of like skepticism, and like I feel like bad people have always been around, but when you catch it on camera, it just reinforces the belief that like people are bad and people are scary. And I'm not to say go out there and get played, but like everybody is so like you can't trust anybody. That's not necessarily true, but that's just how things are operating. So we're all separated, we're all isolated, we're all living in fear of one another, and we're all in competition for this thing that this goal, this dream, this idea that they are selling us that is literally unobtainable. I think about, as I've mentioned a few years ago, or before, a few years ago, I was doing Forex trading. And all that they kept saying is like, you want to be a millionaire, you want to have the jets and the houses and all these things. But like, yeah, being a millionaire, like maybe you could get those things, but look at how things are going. Like shit's getting more expensive. Prices are gonna go up if everybody's making all this money. And so the real only like big ass wealth is like billionaires. And you cannot become a billionaire without exploiting labor from other people. I don't want that. Why would I aspire to be that person? To take money and food away from people. I'm not interested in that, but this is what we're being told. This is what you should want. Go for it. You can't. There's no way you can build up by yourself to being a billionaire. Literally no way. It's impossible. So I ain't buying what they selling no more. I don't want it. I'm looking at what really matters to me. And that's the people around me, having a high quality of life and experiences in my health and things I'm able to do for other people who actually need it, and leaving a legacy of something that actually matters. I want to help. I want to bring about good and change and growth to my community, to the world. I could give a fuck how many cars I die with. Can't take it with me. Like, but this is what they're selling us. They want to keep us entertained and they want to keep us occupied while they slowly poke us over here, take something over here, tweak something over here, look up and you don't have shit. So, especially in times like this, it feels like joy is very complicated. It's very complex. It's like, damn, should I even be feeling joy right now when there's other people out there literally suffering, dying, starving? Is it okay to be happy? Is it okay to want things? Is it okay to experience joy right now? Like that survivor's guilt, all time high during these times. And if you don't have it, maybe you have decided to look away from everything going on, I don't see how you can't feel all this shit being a human with a soul. But if you somehow don't feel all these things going on, I don't know. I don't know. I can't relate because I feel all this stuff deeply. And that in turn makes me feel like experiencing joy can be a form of avoidance when really you're just a human deserving of joy, deserving to not be stressed out and devastated and traumatized all the time. But you know what? You are deserving of joy. I am deserving of joy. I do deserve to laugh. And I'm going to laugh. I'm going to enjoy myself. I'm going to go on vacation. I'm going to take time to do nothing and reset. I'm going to log off. I'm going to do what I need to do to make it not only survive, but thrive in this time where they are trying to crush me. I'm going to do it. I'm not going to let them steal my light. There was a few years ago, I'm sitting there crying, just thinking of all of this stuff. And I'm like, I used to have such a bright light as a kid. And I feel like I can recall watching it go out like up to this point. And I feel like there's this little bit of light left in me. And it made me so sad. Like, damn, they really stole my light. And I think of all the kids in my life that are born during this time and are experiencing things like that. I think of the kids who are growing up in this tech era, like what kind of childhood they're experiencing. I think about all these things and I'm like, oh, that is hard. But in the same breath, I also was like, you know what? This little bit of light I got left, I'm going to hold on to that. And eventually, fortunately, it grew and I was able to grow it back over time. I was able to find moments of joy in my life over time. I had to stop hiding from the world. I had to stop sheltering myself as much as I could. There was a time 20 even before 2023, like the last place I lived before this during COVID was like Gotham City in a sense. It was a place that was so beautiful. I lived in Oakland, California, and it's such a beautiful place. It's such a rich place, especially for like Black culture. But when you have a situation where you have people in desperate need of money run into an opportunity where they can get a lot of money and they are in a place where they don't got to worry about making ends meet, things are great. Crime is low, community feels real strong, things are going well. But then when that money is gone, shit gets crazy. And that's exactly what happened. Things started to get insane. I saw people getting robbed. I saw people, well, not necessarily saw, but I had, because I'm frightened of everything around me, you got the apps to stay alert. The, what's it called? Like neighbors, the citizens app where you can see all the crime in your area. That shit was lit the fuck up. It was so much going on all the time. Shootings, stabbings, robbings, carjackings. I'm scared to do anything. Before, you kind of know the rules to the road. Don't leave your shit in your car where they can see it. Don't go out at night. Don't be walking around here like you untouchable. You know the rules. The rules didn't apply. Anybody, anywhere could have got it. That in turn turned into an extreme panic disorder. Extreme. And I'm not talking about one or two panic attacks. I'm talking about multiple every day. Not like five or six, like 13, 14, 20. Like it was rough. And so that turned into depression, turned into weight gain, turned into isolating myself in the house, not leaving for days, not talking to anybody, which turned into me not wanting to be here anymore. And fortunately, there was a little bit of hope still left in me that kept me going long enough to get me to this point. I'm so grateful for it because not everybody is that fortunate. And ultimately, what it boiled down to was not letting them win. That's what they want. They want power and control and to win. And one thing about me, mama ain't raised no punk. I'm not giving up. I can't let them win. I can't leave because then I can't help the people I love. I can't be here for the people that I love. And so I had to start finding ways to bring joy back into my life. And that's exactly what I did. Pull myself up with the help of therapy, medication, ketamine therapy, shameless plug. And I got myself together enough to find new ways to help me balance things out. I start speaking to psychiatrists. I start going to get my body taken care of, getting into the gym, eating better. Like it was an accumulation of many different things. It takes a village to keep all this going. Let me say that. Um, and I was able to do that. But it ultimately boiled down to things that I can control. I really had to take a look at what I can control. And that is what is going to help us get through all of this. So, what are some things that we can control in a world that feels so out of control? So many things are out of control. Like, how do we find ourselves and find our voice and find our control in this madness? Well, first of all, we got to ask ourselves, what is actually mine to carry? I know we have a lot of access to a lot of things and information and everything, but it doesn't mean it's necessarily ours to hold. We can't fix every world crisis by ourselves from our phones. We can't. There are certain things we can do, but we don't have to act to every single thing. We don't have to be on the front line for every single thing. Like, that's why we need community so that we can lean on those around us to help us get through these things. Because trying to take on the world yourself, you'll get swallowed up quickly because you cannot consume and absorb endless suffering and stay mentally intact. There's no way. You will literally lose your mind. So you got to know what and when you can consume. And only you have the power to determine your limits. But just being mindful, and you are in control of what and when you consume, from a mental aspect to a physical aspect, like the things you put into your body. Like, you can control that. You can control your immediate impact. You can donate. You can show up and offer support. You can do things in your local community. There are things you can directly impact that you do have control over. You can't take on the beast head on by yourself. You can't. Like, you need numbers for that. But you yourself, there are things you can do. Identify what those things are to you and what those things are that are important to you, and then you can move forward with that. You can protect your energy. Protect your energy, protect your energy. You got to be mindful. Energy grows where energy goes. What you focus on grows. So be mindful of where you are placing your energy, what you're doing, what you're looking at, what you're thinking about. You can control your thoughts, how you are talking to yourself on your internal dialogue. Like, you really got to be mindful of that energy, because before you know it, if you are just in a negative space and thinking negatively and moving negatively, that negativeness, like a virus, will consume you and you will be in an even worse place than you think. So be mindful of your energy. And finally, you can control your humanity. Don't let this world harden you. Don't let this world make you immune to trauma, to pain, to suffering. to caring about other people, don't let them take that from you. You can control how you feel about others, what you consume that might influence your thought about others, and how you just show up in the world. Don't let them take that from you because they are doing everything in their power to do so, to make you not care about the next person. Don't do that. Don't let them take that from you. That's not who we are as beings. And so I'm going to make the active decision to stay a decent, moral human being and show up for my people. That's why it was important for me to start this podcast. That's why it's important for me to do what I can to support those around me and show up in my community. This world will steal your joy if you let it. Don't let it. You deserve to experience joy. You deserve an incredible life. Don't let them take that from you. So I leave y'all with this. It's okay to feel overwhelmed right now. The world is heavy. It's a lot going on. It's too much going on. You don't have to fix everything to matter, to be of importance. Protect your peace. Set your boundaries and consume what you can to stay informed, but don't overdo it. Don't lose your mind in all this madness. Focus on what you can control: your people, your energy, your habits, your humanity, and be gentle with yourself. It is a very difficult time to be alive right now, to be completely honest. And if you show up some days and you ain't got it, that's all right. Some days it is totally all right just to be alive, I guess. All right, y'all. Shifting gears here a bit. You already know what time it is. It's time for I Say This With Love. And if you're new here, I Say This With Love is a segment where I read submissions from people who write in asking for advice on different topics, situations. And if you want your situation read here on this segment, you would visit tinyurl.com/AIGP advice and I will read it. What do you do if you don't like your friend's partner? They haven't really done anything bad. I just think they can do better than that. They don't elevate them. It seems like they keep them comfortable and safe. A safe option at best. Something about them I just don't like. How should I tell them? I say this with love. You don't. You mind your business. That's not your relationship. There isn't a problem. You don't know what this person is helping your friend through and how they're actually supporting them, how they're benefiting them. Maybe they aren't sharing things with you because they feel your judgment. Maybe they are being elevated and they're changing in ways, but maybe it's coming up against some things in you that you don't necessarily like. Maybe you should do some internal work. But until there are some issues in the relationship and they come to you like, hey, I see this, I don't like this, then that's not your place. Like, is your friend changing behaviors at all? Like, I don't think there's anything going on with her. You just, as you said, don't like the person, but you don't necessarily know why. Um, there was a time where my wife had a friend, and I'm like, something about her I don't like. And I actually wound up understanding what it was. She was very conniving and sneaky and manipulative, but it was like nice, nasty, like that hidden shit. And so, like, it was just me trying to convince myself, like, maybe she's not like this. But if you really don't see what it is about them, then you need to do some internal work and some reflecting and seeing what the issue is. I don't have enough context. Maybe there are things that you're being more mindful of. And so if that's the case, like, think about it and try and address your friend with it. Like, I'm noticing patterns and I just want to see, if everything's okay. Like, I don't know. I don't know how close you are to the friend. I don't know. But if I'm going off what you said you don't know, you just don't like them. From that, then you just gotta not like them from outside the club, babe. I don't know. It's not up to you. But if you see something, say something if that's your friend. Because I also understand towing the line of not wanting to seem like you're jealous or anything of the relationship, but are you? All right, y'all. That's all for today's episode. I know that was a bit heavy today. It was the first real heavy episode that we have had. And so do whatever you need to do to take care of yourself today. I hope there is some light at the end of everyone's tunnel in terms of a hopeful future. I have found that for myself, and that is what gets me through. I pour my energy into this, into having a positive impact. That's what gets me through. And I'm going to continue to focus on things I can control and not let these niggas win. Can't do it. They almost got me in 2023. You ain't gonna get me again. I can't let that happen twice. As a reminder, be sure to follow us on Instagram, TikTok, Threads, and Facebook at Alive I Guess Podcast. For all inquiries, email aliveiguesspodcast@gmail.com. And for I Say This With Love submissions, visit tinyurl.com/AIGP advice. At the time of this being shot and dropped, we still are in February, so you can sign up for that 6 months of free exclusive Patreon access. I will put the link in the bio. Enjoy the bonus content, bonus episodes, and yeah, just take it all in for free for the first 6. And then after that, we back to it, baby. Thank you so much for joining me today. And as always, I'm RJ. This is the Alive I Guess podcast, and I'll see y'all same time next week.
I'm alive.